So you place your suture 1 centimeter above the angle. So this is your angle, it's 1 centimeter above it. And you place a square knot, di ba?
Yes.
So, pasok dun. Labas dun. See? Dun siya. And one other thing, you try to not touch your needle because, well, baka matusok kayo. But don't be afraid of the suture. Pwede siyang hilyahin. Ito kasi, well, with all the AIDS and the HEPA B around. Yes. And, how do you clamp your needle? It should be around 3/4 there and almost near the tip but not quite. Okay? Usually, most doctors don't want it like that. Or like that. Because you don't have a nice, parang approximation of where you're supposed to. Wala kang control eh. So, usually, it's best that it's around 3/4 and then 3/4 of the needle also. Okay? And you saw how I placed the suture. I followed it since it's curved. Okay? So, for a square knot, so, taka doon, nahirapan ka, no? So,
Pwede ko ba
okay? So, mag-flashlight. So, square knot. You get your, your Kelly. Your clamp. You ikot. You get the dulo. Sorry, parang ang konyotic na. And then, you guide your knot with your finger. Okay? And then you lock. So, if you did it like that, the next one, you do it like this. Pabaliktad.
Para hindi matanggal.
Okay?
Kasi pag doon pa rin ulit, Doc, di ba matatanggal?
Hindi, granny knot yung tawag doon. So, we're after a square knot. So, yun siya. Nakita yung alternate siya. So, I did it, initially, I did it like that. And then, the next one, I did like that. So, yung next ko, balik ulit. Ganon. The number of throws on how ilang beses ka ikot, depends on the suture that you're using. So, for example, if we're using Prolene, supposed to be 7 throws. Ibig sabihin, 7 na beses nag-ikot.
Bakit?
Because a Prolene suture doesn't have any grooves. Hindi siya hindi siya braided. But if it's a braided, 4 throws, 3 throws, well, actually 4 throws dapat at least, is good enough. Compared to a Prolene or a nylon which needs several.
Doc, is that permanent na po? Or yun po yung natutunaw na?
Ito?
Opo.
Absorbable. So, and then, you cut 1 centimeter from the knot. Yung sobra. Pangit eh. Tsaka maduduling ka. So, for that intent, or you've done your square knot. Next part, you have to do continuous interlocking. Diba? So, how do you do that? Well, sa amin, usually, we have interns who assist us.
Opo. May nakahawak po niyan, Doc, after?
This one? Yeah.
This one, pag ganyan po. Pag nag-lock.
After? Usually, meron. So, pero you can actually repair by yourself. So, if I'm repairing by myself, this is how I do it. So, you get one here, and then you get the other one. And then you place it inside. And then you pull. See? Tawag ng ibang group, ibang classmates ng blanket stitch. Okay? So, the difference is 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter ulit. Okay? So, yun. And then, usually, this should be taught. So, there's another person actually holding this usually. So, yan. Tapos, it needs to be deep enough to co-op tape. See? See? So, initially, so this is your interlocking. But sometimes, You have lacerations which are wak-wak.
Opo.
Wak-wak talaga. As in, you'll see that. So,
Hindi po.
we need to obliterate dead space in our episiotomies or lacerations, because dead spaces can accumulate your blood. You could have hematomas, and with hematomas you could have your infections, diba? So we need to obliterate the dead space. How do we do that? We use figure of eights, yung stitches. Sige, mamaya ako tuturo na ng figure of eights. That's the it's the third number I think in your, wala pa. Hindi pa pala. Nandun pa lang pala sa number 5 yun. Okay, anyway, sige, tapusin na muna natin to. So, ideally, that's how you do it. So, tapusin ko to, ha. Pero, kayo, you will have to do it there sa
Dok,
garter.
pag ganyan po ka-deep yung laceration niya po, no need to suture po yung lower.
Hindi, we need to actually.
Okay.
That's why I'm telling you, you need to go deep enough to do it so that you coaptate. But if it's really makapal, you really have to do your figure of eights. So, yan. Kunyari wala akong assist. Pero usually, that's entry level from clerk, initially clerk, yan, kayo yan eh. Tapos pag naging na kayo residente, may repair. Although residents also assist like this. So, yun. Tapos once you get to the hymenal ring, this is the hymen, no? That's when you, dun ka you approximate it with square knot. So, some doctors, they actually do another square knot once the hymenal ring. Okay. But I don't. Sorry. Not all. Once you get to the hymenal ring, ideally, you do a square knot. But, yan. Some doctors, they don't. Actually, I don't. What I do is I invert it. But for your intents, you could actually do a square knot again. There. But why don't I want a square knot there again? Because the patient can touch it. Nakakapa nila. Pangit ang feeling daw ng patient. Although, with your, it's supposed to be, ties with a square knot. So, ideally, you need to tie here with a square knot. Okay? Sige, tie na nga. Sundin na nga sila. So, again, square knot. How do I do this? Actually, dapat pala hindi ko diniretso eh. Kasi this is how I usually do it eh. Binabaliktad ko lang siya eh. This is not a square knot This is wala. Hindi siya square knot. Okay? Ganun ko siya. Tapos babalik na ako doon. Tutuloy na ako ng simple continuous ko. But, in others, you usually do a square knot here. The way you did here sa loob.
And then, ikakat.
Cut.
And then, start again.
That's
Medyo
why
matagal.
that's one. Medyo matagal. And yun nga, you end up with a few more knots which the patient can actually palpate. So, I don't usually do that. But, ideally.
But healing-wise, though?
Healing-wise is the same. Okay? So, there. So, once you did that, you can continue with your simple continuous. So, how do you do that? Sa inside, and then, parang hirap na dito. Sige, cut natin. Mas maganda dito. Hirap pakita eh. Hindi nyo makikita eh. Simple continuous, hindi siya blanket stitch. This is what your classmates told me that it's a running stitch. Tama ba? Something like that. So, how do you do it? You go inside. You don't go in the loop. You should be outside of the loop. Okay? And it's supposed to be like that.
Running.
Running stitch.
Tapos another one, Doc.
Running. Okay? Ay, yun siya. So, continuous. And then, once I get to the dulo, sorry, to the end, as if I already did this continuous there. For the, nahirapan ako. So, usually, I invert it like that to the end. And then I do your subcuticular. So how do you do subcuticular? Go up just underneath the skin. Okay. Parallel to it. Just underneath the skin. See? Okay? Nice, no?
So we're not supposed to, Doc, yan na po yung last na.
Ito yung last.
So parang walang stitch sa labas.
Yes. And then once you get to the hymenal ring, you tie again a knot. Square knot again. So that's how you end
Kaya
it.
nafe-feel nga ng patient mo kasi
Yes.
double yung knot.
Yes. So, well, by experience, what I do, I place the knot at least a centimeter inside so that when the patient washes herself, she doesn't feel it. Naiintindihan ko kasi yun, na-feel, di ba? Hello. But siguro sa guys, I don't know. So,
Sila yung gumagawa.
there. Okay? So,
Okay.
tapos na tayo dun sa stitches. And then, after you did your knot here, you're supposed to inspect for your clots. You evacuate the clots. You evacuate for, you check if there are other lacerations. You check for your sponges, if there are sponges inside. And then, you do a rectal exam. You do a rectal exam to check if you went through and through. Yung tawag namin gitara. Kasi pumasok yung suture mo to the rectal mucosa. You shouldn't have that because that could be a site for infection. Or, you check also if you neglected a 4th degree laceration pala. You actually thought that it's just 2nd degree, pero butas pala siya. You could have a fistula pag ganon. And then, you should also check for the tone of the sphincter. Kasi baka akala nyo, yun nga, 2nd degree lang. Turns out 3rd degree, hindi niya siya makapagpigil ng poop niya. And then, yeah, basically that's it. The figure of 8s, I will show you there na lang sa may sa garter. Kasi parang hirap dito gawin. And then, the subcuticular, more here. So, medyo naintindihan? Okay, padaling ko siya. Papagalitan ako. Kasi ayaw ni doktora na, ni Dr. Crisostomo na gamitin to lagi kasi masisira siya.
Ay, hindi po kami pwede mag-practice.
Dito? No, kasi kung lahat kayo magpa-practice dito, 1,000 pesos is daw to. Actually, yun, gamit na gamit siya. Anyways, turuan ko kayo doon.